The Sephora VIB sale will start tomorrow for Rouge members, and then from there on, the other members will have access to the sale, and I'm here to talk you out of it. If you happen to be new to my content, hi, I'm so happy that you're here. My name is hautemess Tom. A lot of what I do on my channel is to try to help myself and help you be more discerning about the makeup that we are buying. Part of that is knowing when not to buy makeup. Today, I'm going to give you some points about maybe why you shouldn't buy from the Sephora sale. If you are someone who is always hell-bent on buying stuff from the Sephora sale and you don't need this kind of conversation, then you don't have to watch this video. It wasn't made for you. And unfortunately, not every piece of content on the internet is made for you. If you want to hear me out, I would love to have you here. And if you are looking for a friend, a pal, a person to stand by your side and be like, maybe you don't need to shop this sale, here I am. Let me be that friend for you. I will have helpful chapters down below. So if you only want to jump to one portion of the video, you can go and do that. But basically how it's going to be structured is the first part of this video, I'm going to give you general reasons why not to shop the sale. And then on the second half of the video, I'm going to talk about specific products that are very popular right now that my audience was asking to be talked out of at the Sephora sale. The first thing I want to talk to you about is being part of the beauty community only has one requirement, and that requirement is you love makeup. The requirement isn't that you have enough money to buy makeup from Sephora, that you have to have a certain amount of makeup to qualify to be in the beauty community, that you have to have certain types of makeup and makeup items to be part of the beauty community. First and foremost, being part of the beauty community is free. And all of us love makeup in different ways. There are people who do project panning. There are people who really love doing creative looks. There are people who just like to collect makeup. And I think there's space for all of that. Don't let any of these videos or any other person who's involved in the beauty community make you feel as though to participate in the beauty community means you must participate in the Sephora sale or any sale that's going on right now. You do not need to do any of that to be part of the beauty community. Baby, you're here. Hug. Let's come in for a hug. Oh, doesn't it feel good? We're part of the beauty community. We're both here. You're already in the space. There's no cover fee at the door. Some people just watch beauty videos. They might not even be someone who owns makeup. They just like watching beauty content. That's part of the beauty community. Don't let the hype about this stupid sale that comes twice a year and that has different levels to it. Basically, they're putting us in a hierarchy on whether or not we deserve more or less of a sale because of how much money we've previously spent at the store. That's kind of bananas. And listen, I love shopping at Sephora. I happen to be Rouge. That is weird that the brand is like, well, if you barely shop with us, then you only get 10% off. And if you shop a little more than never at our store, then you get 15% off. And if you spend $1,000 a year here, you get 20% off. That is weird that they do that. Don't feel like you need to participate in this because you don't. Don't let anyone make you feel like you need to buy anything, even not during sale time, to be part of the beauty community. You're here. We love you. You don't need to buy anything to be part of this. Check in with yourself. If you are choosing to shop for a thing, make sure you're choosing to buy things you've had your eye on for a while and you're not doing it to add things to cart to add to the dopamine rush. I was someone who spent way too much money on makeup, more than I could afford. There are people who have a lot of money to spend on makeup and buying a lot of makeup isn't putting them in the hole. I was buying so much makeup, I put myself into debt buying makeup. I don't want you to do that. Keep in mind, if you are going to buy some stuff, just buy the things that you have already had your eye on. I used to get such a rush from buying something, seeing that my order has shipped, watching it ship to my house, and then it getting to my house, and then I open the box and I look at it all once. I might use it on my face one time, excitement gone. I wasn't really making good purchases. I want you to do as much soul searching and research as you can to make sure that you are buying things that are most likely going to work for you in the first place. This is not an opportunity to buy whatever you want and then return whatever doesn't work for you. Try to do the proactive thing and do some research first to make sure that if you are buying something you've never bought before and you haven't had the opportunity to swatch in store, that you've done enough research watching people review it online. Make sure you are looking at everything you possibly can to when you add that thing to the cart and you check out, you have the highest possibility of that thing working when it gets to your door if you are buying online, or when you get it home if you're buying it in store. I know that little dopamine rush. I have the shop app. The shop app will show you where things are in the shipping process. It'll tell you your thing's getting delivered today. Ooh, that feels so good. We don't need to do that with a million different things. If you don't know this already, you can buy as many things as you want. Not on one transaction, but as many transactions as possible. Try to limit yourself to one transaction during the Sephora sale if you are shopping the Sephora sale. And force yourself, add all the things to cart that one time and then check out. If you need to do like a partial in-store and partial online. I understand that because I used to work at Sephora, and sometimes that would happen where the store didn't have something in stock and online did, or vice versa. Sometimes that has to happen. Try to limit yourself to one transaction during the sale. Try not to encourage yourself to do multiple transactions during the sale. The thing is, a lot of stuff tends to get released right before the sale, during the sale, and there's a mad rush to buy that thing while it's on sale, but we have no knowledge of it. It's not in someone's hands yet. For example, the Patrick Ta duos, Rouge had early access today, and I don't know when they're going to be in stores. So people who bought them today with Rouge access are going to get them tomorrow and the next day, and then their reviews will probably go up amidst the Sephora sale. So if you are waiting for someone to review the Patrick Ta eyeshadows, don't make your Sephora sale purchase until the people that you trust as far as reviews go, do their reviews, and you can make a good purchase. And if they are in stores, make sure you go swatch them, interact with them if you can, if you have a Sephora near you. I know that some people buy a lot of stuff from Sephora, but they actually never set foot in Sephora because there's not one conveniently located near them. This is actually normally not the only sale that Sephora does this time of year. Typically, there's a coupon closer to Christmas time where everyone gets 20% off, but that one's only on one transaction. If you have to buy something from Sephora, and 20% off would be the best discount you can get, forego this sale and just wait for you to get that coupon later. They've done it consistently for the past 4 or 5 years, so I'm going to assume that they're going to do it again. If they don't do that again, the likelihood of them doing something else is also possible. So hold out. You don't need to shop during the sale. I know I feel like you're getting swept up in it and you need to be part of it, but I promise you don't. There's a very high likelihood that there's going to be the same discount for everyone. So people who are VIB and just beauty insiders, you too will get 20% off, not just people who are Rouge. If you are going to make a purchase during the Sephora sale, make sure that brand websites and other retailers aren't doing a better sale for you on that item, because a lot of the times beauty retailers, even beauty retailers that don't sell product in Sephora, will run sales around the same time as Sephora in order to get in on the rush of the sales. So just make sure if you are buying a product that you are getting the best deal that you can. If you've already done all of the previous work to make sure that that's going to be a good purchase for you, make sure if you are buying something that you are actually getting the best deal, and 10%, 15%, or 20% off is the best deal for you at that time. For example, Pat McGrath tends to run a lot of sales on her website. And a lot of times the sales on her website can be upwards of 25 to 30% off for everybody, not just people who have spent $1,000 on her website for the year prior. So everyone, including people who are Rouge at Sephora, would get a better sale on Pat McGrath's website. I doubt that her newest collections will be part of any sales that she might be running. However, if you're looking at one of the older mothership palettes, that might be a better place to look. Fenty Beauty normally does a sale of at least 20% off on their website, which means that if you're not Rouge, it might be better to buy from Fenty's website. A lot of brand websites will offer free shipping around the same time that they're doing the sales to entice people to buy with no minimum, because Sephora's sale, there is no minimum for free shipping. A lot of brands will try to meet them where they're at if they can. If you are making a purchase, and the whole point of making the purchases is to make it during a deal, make sure the deal is the best deal, because Sephora might not be the best one, even though it's the big sale. I think what people need to remember is the hype of this sale came at a time when makeup wasn't going on sale all of the time, but makeup goes on sale all of the time now. There are so many sales. Sephora does 2 sales throughout the year, and then sometimes there will be discounts on things throughout the year. Ulta does sales all of the time, and brand websites will do sales way more than Sephora does. You can get normally a better discount there. But when the Sephora sale, the hype from this Sephora sale, it's a rollover from a time when makeup never went on sale. 2015, 2016, 2017, makeup didn't go on sale like this. There wasn't as many brands. There wasn't as much makeup being produced because that bubble was blowing up at that time. And they knew that they could charge us full price, and most of us would buy it most of the time because we knew that we weren't going to get a deal on it for a very long time if that thing ever went on sale, because it might sell out before ever being marked down to move product. But now there aren't as many people buying makeup, or the people who are buying makeup are slowing down. I feel like I'm part of that group. And so makeup has to go on sale to be more enticing for people to buy it now, which is why a lot of people wait for makeup to be on sale to buy at all anymore. There are people who only buy their makeup during the Sephora sale every year, and that's the only time they buy stuff, and that's the best way for them to spend their money. Sephora isn't the be all end all retailer for makeup. Anyway, there's obviously Ulta, but you don't have to buy your makeup from Sephora, but I think some people have it in their mind Sephora is the one-stop shop for makeup. There's a lot of compelling brands being sold elsewhere that might be more your style that you just don't know about because Sephora doesn't carry them. So this is going to be a little shot at my fellow content creators. Beauty content creators stand to make a lot of money on this sale off of you using their affiliate links. I'm not saying that affiliate links are bad. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use affiliate links. And I'm not saying that my fellow content creators are trying to be nefarious in any way by using affiliate links. I use affiliate links. Keep in mind when they make their Sephora sale recommendations video with a detailed list of a bunch of links after they told you how great all of these things in their hour-long video are, they stand to make a lot of money on you clicking through those links and shopping through them. It doesn't cost you any money to do the affiliate links to click through them. Like there's not like an upcharge for you to use affiliate links. So don't think that. I'm not trying to make you think about content creators bad because they use affiliate links. However, there is an enticing reason for us to make content to recommend products specifically from Sephora for you at this time, because we can make a lot of money if you spend a lot of money at Sephora through our affiliate links. If you decide to buy something during the Sephora sale because you heard one of your favorite content creators talk about something and you've been thinking about it for a long time, yes, I think you should use their affiliate link. Maybe some things turn out to be someone's favorite thing that it didn't seem like it was their favorite thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And a lot of the times the Sephora recommendations videos tends to be all new product, which is like already enticing for people. Very rarely do you see something that came out a few years ago make it onto someone's Sephora recommendation list, because they'll say, oh, you can watch last year's video. I'm not saying that everyone who's a content creator, I'm a content creator. I love watching Sephora sale recommendation videos, but I need you to keep in mind there is incentive for content creators to make those videos and affiliate link everything to you. Just because they recommend something to you does not mean you have to buy it, Mary. You decided to shop the sale. If you did not want it before the sale, then you did not want it. I think what happens with people is you're adding things to your cart online, you're in store at Sephora, and you're like, oh, well, it's 20% off. I'm just gonna buy it without thinking too much about it. Don't do that. If you never wanted it before the sale, you do not want it. Just because you saw it in store and it was like shiny and you have like a little magpie moment. No. You don't actually want that thing. I would bet if you bought that thing, a week later, you'd be like, I don't know why I bought this. I didn't even want this. And then you'll wait till past the 30-day return period. And you won't return it. And then you've spent your money on this thing that you thought you wanted, but you never really wanted in the first place. You just saw something and you got excited because I have a discount. Just because you have a discount doesn't mean you must buy. You are not letting your brain wander. When you're shopping the Sephora sale, you're buying the things that you were planning on buying beforehand, and you are getting out. You're not spending time in there finding things to buy just because you are getting a discount. You are only getting the things that you had already intended to buy beforehand because you're making a smart choice by shopping the sale while the things are discounted because you already wanted them at full price. It wasn't something that you needed to buy right away. You were just waiting for the sale. Okay. Someone asked me about backups. Backups are a little bit harder to decipher whether or not it would be a good time to purchase them at the Sephora sale. Backups are great because backups are normally being purchased because you already use that thing up all of the way already. So your hairspray, dry shampoo, it just tend to be hair stuff, your eyebrow pencil, your foundation, primer, your moisturizer, skincare, like you know that you're going to use up the one you have and immediately start using the same thing, just the one you bought during the Sephora sale. I don't think you should stock up. Again, it's not the only sale. There will probably be other opportunities to buy the thing that you would need as a backup later on. You might find a better discount down the line. I only believe in buying backups during the Sephora sale if you are like just really close to finishing your thing up anyway, like maybe you have a couple of weeks or a month's worth of use left in that item. I think then buying a backup makes a lot of sense. However, if you still have 6 months to go on that item, 3 months to go on that item, don't buy a backup now, even though you know you will use it in 3 months. Something could happen. Maybe you have a friend that buys a dry shampoo and they're like, you know what, I don't like this dry shampoo. Do you want to try it? You try that dry shampoo. What if you like that dry shampoo better? So then you use that up and then you want to buy that one again. Because that happens. A lot of times when I buy a backup of something, I will then try something that takes that place in my mind or in my skincare routine, in my hair care routine. I will try something different. And then I want to buy that instead. So then I would have a backup that I already spent my money on. And then I'm buying that same kind of product, but a different thing because I wanted to use that one instead. We have our staple products in our skin. Like I'm going to say skincare because skincare is like the only thing I've ever bought backups of. I don't need backups of makeup. At the fall sale last year or 2 years ago, I bought a backup of my retinol and a backup of a serum that I always use all the way up. I did not finish the stuff that I was already using until the following Sephora sale. So I didn't even need to buy the backups during that sale. Not only that, a couple of things changed in my skincare routine where I stopped using that retinol and that glycolic wasn't my favorite thing anymore, and I moved on to a different glycolic serum. I know that sometimes we use something for years and years and years and years and years. I literally only think you should buy a backup of something if you are very close to being done with it during the Sephora sale. If you already like that thing and you're willing to pay full price for it and you've paid full price for it in the past, is that extra 10, 15, or 20% going to make that much of a difference on an item you already know you love it at full price? Is it going to make that much of a difference? A lot of the things that I buy that are like highly repurchasable aren't the most expensive things. So like if I was buying a dry shampoo for that's $20 and I'm going to get $4 off during the Sephora sale to get it as a backup, but I'm not going to need it for 3 months, I think I can wait 3 months and pay $20. That's my thought on backups. You might disagree with me, but I have fallen into the trap of like buying a backup and thinking that it's a really good deal for me to buy a backup right now and then not even using the backup until after the next sale has happened. I don't really believe in backup culture for makeup anyway. A lot of makeup takes a long time to go through. A lot of the people who are enticed by the Sephora sale have a lot of makeup already. I'm generalizing there. Some of you may not, but a lot of the people who shop the Sephora sale have collections my size, larger than my size, or close to my size of a makeup collection. And having a backup, it's like, I'm not even going to use the first thing up all the way. Let's get into some products. A lot of you were very enticed by the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight Edition. I just did my video on this. If you want my 2 cents, I don't think it's worth $68. I also don't think it's worth whatever $68 times 0.8 is, or 0.85. or 0.9. You may swatch it and find yourself more enticed by it. It wasn't my favorite thing. Watch that full video if you want more details on that. So a lot of people are very enticed by the Gucci highlighters. I have 2 shades of the Gucci highlighters and I've been talking about them very fondly, which could be a reason why you might have been interested in the first place. They might not have been on your radar otherwise, but I've been talking about them and I've been really loving them. If I was buying them again, what I would do, and I would only buy one. I again have a makeup channel and my relationship to purchasing makeup is going to be different than yours. When I buy makeup, it's a business transaction because I'm also going to make money off of that purchase by talking about it to you, people using my affiliate links, my reviews of it, using it in, there's ways for me to make money on that purchasing of a product. However, you will not. If I was approaching the sale and I wanted to buy a Gucci highlighter, I would only have bought one because I did buy 2. And actually right now I'm like, I wish I had only bought the one because I don't really love the other one as much. I mean, I've talked about it on my channel before. A lot of times when you love something, your love of it is for the color and formula, and buying additional colors will just distract you and you won't love those ones as much because they're not the color that you fell in love with the first time. Having all the colors I don't think is always beneficial, but that's not what you asked for. Do you wear highlighter? This whole year was like, I'm not really that into highlighter. And a couple highlighters came into my life and I really have been enjoying them. If you have not been loving highlighter this year, you haven't been wearing a highlighter this year, the Gucci highlighter isn't going to be like the thing that makes you want to wear a highlighter again. If it's not part of your normal routine right now, you don't need to spend $60 to make it part of your routine right now. If you're happy with your looks without one of the Gucci highlighters, you're going to continue to be happy with your looks beyond the Gucci highlighter. Right now, highlighter is like not one of the most popular things, although I feel like a lot of brands have been releasing highlighters. So maybe I'm wrong. I feel like we have been trending away from highlighter for a while and then like highlighters came out. But the only reason highlighters are trending right now, if they are trending, is because a bunch of brands are releasing highlighters. They've tricked us into thinking that highlighter is back. A lot of people are very happy skipping highlighter. And if you are already happy skipping highlighter, adding a highlighter is not going to make a difference. It's going to make your look a little bit shinier. If you are happy without that shine, then you don't need it. It is a pretty good highlighter formula, but it's not the best highlighter formula that came out this year. And if you watch my channel, you know which one it is, and that is not sold at Sephora. Even with 20% off, getting $12 off, I'm rounding up, getting about $12 off the Gucci highlighter if you're a rouge, which is not everyone, you're still paying $48 for a highlighter. That's an expensive highlighter. Are you willing to pay $48 for a highlighter? Before you saw the Gucci highlighter, were you willing to pay $48 or $59 for a Gucci highlighter? Or any highlighter from any brand? Maybe Gucci's not your favorite brand. You never tried anything from Gucci. Why now? Why would you do that now? Or it's expensive. I tend to review luxury makeup. I tend to prefer luxury makeup. Not so much formula wise. I like all aspects of it. The packaging. I have good luck with luxury formulas. Not to say that there aren't luxurious formulas at the drugstore. I'm just not a drugstore diva. I have paid a stupid amount of money for stupid things before. But if you've never paid a stupid amount of money for stupid things before, buying the Gucci highlighters, not where I would suggest starting. This one's gonna be easy for me to talk you out of because it's like, I like the Gucci highlighters, but I'm not impressed by the danessa myricks Lightworks palette. I know a lot of you are. I'm going to start with some feedback I got from people who have purchased the palette that aren't influencers. If you happen to be new to me, I do a series on my channel called Critical Sass. In that video, I talk about new makeup releases. And I did not really talk about this product very favorably. I wasn't interested in it. I think that the packaging is convoluted. If the idea of the packaging is what's really selling this for you, magnetic palettes already exist, babe, and they are not that expensive. Of course, those palettes are empty and they do not come with the beautiful eyeshadows on the inside of that palette. However, I think that they overworked it. They should have done 3 mini palettes with the option to buy the big palette to home the 3 palettes together. The light over light worked palette. It's too much. They did too many things. Some of the people in my comment section that had already bought the palette said that the formulas of the eyeshadows were like not as exciting as maybe they were expecting, but they were still pretty. Also, the packaging has turned out to be a bit of a problem for some people. So the magnets, I guess, in the palette are strong enough to remove the pans, which is annoying. And I have some packaging that has done that before where like you open it and then the magnets like remove the pans out of it. That's annoying. And if you're paying $120 or $130 for this palette or whatever that is on sale for you at the sale, it's like the packaging should not be doing that. I really think she's selling a fantasy that already exists to people who that weren't willing to do the work of moving things around. I think the only people who would really benefit from this system, removing the eyeshadows from this system, are people who already do that sort of thing. And the people who already do that sort of thing already have the magnetic palettes and the eyeshadows that they're going to use to do that thing. And they don't need the system provided by the brand that doesn't even work 100% the way it's supposed to. Not only that, the pan sizes are not the same as the eyeshadow pans and her other eyeshadows that are removable pans. So you can't even really use that system seamlessly between Danessa's products. Now, I'm kind of waiting with bated breath to see what the next non-Lightworks palette's going to look like. And if it has removable pans, will it fit the system that she already has going? Because in my head, what makes the most sense is she releases 6-pan palettes to interchange with the system. That's what I think she should do, but we don't know what she's going to do. So you might buy this system and then she might not continue to release products that work cohesively with that system. So if you're buying it for the system, I would say wait, wait to see what Danessa does next. Also, wait to see if there's ever a point where she releases it empty and then you can kind of make your own color stories, because I would say to do that. That's a lot of special shades. Price per shade, that's a great price per shade. I won't use all of those. Will you? Will you use all 18 shades? Because I'm sure if I looked at that palette, I would find 3, maybe 4 shades in there that I would like use all the time. And I would probably begrudgingly using the other ones. For me to spend $130 on 4 shades of eyeshadow, that doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when I'm not getting to choose the other 12 shades. I would rather spend, and sometimes indie brands charge a lot for these special shadows. They do. But I would rather spend $80 on the 4 shades I want, as opposed to buying this whole system with this whole thing. I would not get value out of the extras that are coming in there. I only really see this being valuable if you don't have any kind of that special sparkly texture in your collection. But I'm led to believe if you are watching this video and you are this deep into makeup, you've dabbled and you probably have ones that you really like. Do you need 18 more? I've downsized my special shades recently and I still feel like I have too many. And that's me. You might approach it differently. The Danessa Myricks palettes and now Pat McGrath palettes, like I don't see the appeal to them anymore, because I would much rather add to my collection a shadow at a time if I feel like I'm lacking a special shade. And like, that's really what I'm buying a palette for. For example, this is not something that's sold at Sephora, but On my eyes currently, the shimmer on my eyes is a shade from the Vamp palette from Bella Beauty Bar. It's called The Skin of a Killer, and I love this shade. It might be one of my favorite shades of eyeshadow. I like absolutely love this shade of eyeshadow. I would never have bought the palette for this one shade. Now, I did receive that palette in PR, which again changes my relationship with the way that I got that palette. However, I'm not going to recommend a whole palette to you for the one shade that I think is like really special and I really love. I'm happy I got to have this shade, but it's also like I would never recommend you buying a palette for the one really beautiful shade that I really love in it. If you're not someone who already rearranges color stories, do you think you actually will? Will this actually be the thing that takes you across the border and takes you into that realm? Because I will say that takes a lot of like practice to do. And if it's not something you're already doing, what I foresee potentially is that you will get it and think you're going to do all of that. And then you like really won't do all of that. And you'll be like, why did I buy this palette? Just food for thought. Again, I don't like that system. And if she doesn't continue doing things that incorporate into that system, then what was the point of making this convoluted system in the first place? I don't know. I think a lot of you are very interested in the Kulfi cream shadows. I think many of you are interested in the sparkly shade that they just released. I think it's called Soma Soma or Sona Soma. I'm not really quite sure. I've swatched that shade in person. I've swatched all of them, and I do think they're really, really beautiful. I think there would be a big learning curve to that Sona Sona shade. I swatched it and I got the littlest bit on my finger. And when I swatched it, the swatch covered my whole hand and halfway down my arm in a completely opaque shimmer. It was actually crazy how far that shadow went. So there would be a little bit of a learning curve. And I would say you have to really like sparkle. I know that we all say that we like sparkle, but you have to like sparkle. I know a couple people have tried that and found the formula to be pretty chunky and hard to get a smooth application of. So that might not be the best way for you to get your sparkle. Also, do you have sparkles in your collection that look like that already? And how much do you use them? Those are always things to think about. That's the kind of eyeshadow that I really like and I have a lot of and I use a lot of. So finding myself buying that and putting it into my rotation may make sense for me. It doesn't because I already have too much of that thing, but I think it's really beautiful. Of course, if I had it, I'm sure I would love it and I would add it to the rotation. I would really enjoy it. But would you? Do you already have a propensity for using single eyeshadows in pots? Because if you don't already like that sort of thing, buying one and never using it isn't going to turn you into someone who likes that. Now, my preferences in makeup have changed. There was a time where I like preferred eyeshadow palettes in totality, and I would only really use one eyeshadow palette when I would do my eye looks, but I had some beautiful single potted shadows. They were so pretty and I always wanted to use them, but I never used them. If you are someone who is into the idea of this shadow, do you stray from palettes or do you use that kind of thing? Spending the money on that sort of thing isn't automatically going to make sure that you change your habits to use that sort of thing. So if it's not already something that you're into, it's not going to make you into a person who's going to be more into it. I think thinking a lot about how you use eyeshadow is really important whenever you're thinking about making a next eyeshadow purchase, because a lot of people really love eyeshadow palettes. So buying a new eyeshadow palette might add value to their collection because they already love using eyeshadow palettes. I very rarely pull out a palette and use it in whole, so buying a whole new eyeshadow palette to me very often is not the solution to me wanting to buy a new eyeshadow. That's not the way to go. Finding a singular special thing or a quad or something that has less is like much more enticing to me. So again, that might make this a very good thing for me to buy. However, it might make that the exact reason why you shouldn't consider buying that. So a lot of you are interested in the sets from Merit. Basically, I'm going to talk about sets in general in this section, but we're going to use the Merit sets as my example for you. I too am interested in the trios from Merit, the Flesh Balm trio, and then there's also a lip trio. The lip trio, I'm going to talk myself out of it with you. Here's reasons that I think it's going to be a good buy for me. I already love both of Merit's previous formulas. I love the signature lip and I also really enjoy their matte lip. And there's also a new formula in here. And I'm not sure if that's going to have a full range. I don't know anything. I get PR from Merit sometimes. They have done a sponsorship with me in the past. So like I have worked with them, but like I never know what I'm going to get from them. It just seems to show up at my door sometimes. So I don't know anything you don't know. This might be them introducing a formula to see how people feel about it. The two shades in there that are the signature lip and and the matte lip, I have zero interest in. I am mostly wanting to buy it because I love the look and idea of that blotted lip formula. I've actually been to Sephora and I swatched it and I was like, oh, I think I'd really like that. However, lipstick, not my favorite category of beauty. Not something I like to have a ton of, although I have a shit ton of lip products right now in my drawers. And I'm like, how did this happen? Because at the middle of the year, in July, I did not have this many lip products, and I have so many lip products. So I don't know what happened. Buying this and adding that lip product to a bunch of other lip products that I don't already cycle through, it's going to get lost in the sauce. And just bringing in 3 of the same product, even if they are different colors, is going to distract me because that's a lot of one thing to bring. If I bought 3 eyeshadow palettes at once and brought them into my makeup collection, that's overwhelming. That's a lot of makeup. If you don't have a ton of makeup and you're just getting started, the trio could be a great buy for you to have a couple different colors and a couple different formulas to play with. Most of us who are watching this video, most of us who are participating in this space and feel overwhelmed by the sale and, are trying to talk ourselves out of it, we're probably not the people who are like, oh, 3 lipsticks would make my lipstick collection have 4 lipsticks in it. I think we're past that. I feel like I'm talking to my people here. I would get 3 beautiful lip products. However, I would probably use the newest one before using the other lip products. And then, so they all just get lost in the mix. And basically 3 months from now, I pull that lip product out and be like, oh, I liked this so much 3 months ago. Why did I stop using it? Well, I stopped using it because for me, I'm going to probably get a bunch of lip product in PR that I get to try. It's going to distract me from it. It's not my favorite lip product. I don't normally reach for lipsticks if I'm normally reaching for glosses in my day-to-day. So that just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. And also, if you're buying it just to try that one formula, just wait it out. The likelihood of it coming out in a full collection with colors that you might be more enticed by, and you can buy the one color of the thing you want, that's going to be a better buy for you than buying this trio. Now, with the Flesh Balms, it's a very similar idea. Why I'm interested in the Flesh Balm trio is there's a shade called Behave in there, and it's not part of their regular line, and it's gorgeous. I swatched it in store. When I swatched the lip product, I also swatched that in store, and it's gorgeous. I really like it. And I wish that it came in their regular line. And I think they've released Behave and a couple of other products in sets. I think there was a lip liner. I just want that shade. If Merit releases it as a solo blush, and I would consider buying that shade. However, if I buy the trio, the other 2 colors I don't care about at all. I'm mostly buying it for that one. It makes no sense for me to bring 3 of those blushes. They are minis. The lipsticks are full size. These are minis. Guess what? Minis get lost in my drawers. Even in my testing drawer, minis get lost. I don't love minis. Now, I think minis are really great to try things out for sure. Minis for me are not something that I'm going to choose to use over a full size product. That's weird. I know. Even if my favorite product came in the mini and that's how I acquired it, I still wouldn't use it. Not because it's just, I don't use it. So I had to think about that. Do you like mini products? Will you use a mini? Will you use 3 minis? Do you like the Flesh Balm formula? Have you ever tried the Flesh Balm formula? Do you think you'll like it enough to have 3 of them? Because I really like the Flesh Balm formula. It's not my favorite blush formula. I think it's easy to use. I think it's really idiot proof. There's a lot of great things about it, but also it's even the one that I have, it's not the thing I'm reaching for first. So you have to consider that. Some of you were asking about the Westman Atelier sets. Those are really, really expensive. You have to like all 3 shades. I think the matte lip formula from Westman Atelier is good, but not $50 good. If it was a $40 lipstick, I'd feel even more comfortable. If it was a $35 lipstick, I'd be like, great. But it's not. It's a $50 lipstick. And then the trio, I don't even think there's a discount with the trio beyond the 20, 15, 10% that you'd be getting during the Sephora sale. You really have to be careful when you're buying sets. Maybe you're buying the set and you're splitting it up because you and 2 other friends have one in the trio that you really want to use. The minis from Westman Atelier are actually pretty substantial. Not with how much product you get, but the physical thing is pretty substantial. However, I've gotten the feedback a couple of times of people who bought the Westman Atelier minis that the lids pop off on them all of the time. So they put them in the bag and then the lids pop off and it's a mess. Maybe that's not going to be the best thing for you either. You have to want all of the things in the set or it doesn't make sense. If you look at the set of Westman Atelier lipsticks and you only want one of the shades in there, just buy the shade you want. This is how they try to get you. They throw limited edition shades in the set, but oftentimes in their regular line, there's going to be a color that's so close to one of the limited edition shades that might work just as well for you. If you're looking for that one shade, but it only comes in the trio, swatch it on your hand at Sephora if you can, and go around the store and swatch all of the other lipsticks so you can just buy one lipstick that is that color. Because you probably are going to find a dupe for it, if anywhere, inside of a Sephora. The sets don't entice me. I never was a set person, so when the sets get released, I'm always like, who would want that? And it turns out a lot of people do, but like, I have trouble trying to talk you out of them because my brain chemistry doesn't work in the way where like, that's something that I've spent a lot of money on. Like even at my most spendy as a makeup consumer, I wasn't buying sets. They were never something that crossed my radar. I wanted the thing I wanted. The Natasha Denona Roxa palette, some people were asking me to talk them out of it. Are you a purple person? And I know I've talked a lot about purple people in the purple, you know, whatever. Whenever I did my Critical Sass, I talked about it. Purple packaging, as I'm wearing purple. Purple is like not a color of eyeshadow I like to wear. It doesn't really spark joy. So when I saw that there was like a take on purple, I was like, I don't care about this. However, the purple people, which I said the purple people are very passionate about purple, came to my comment section, were like, that ain't purple, Mary. That is pink, kind of on the purple side, but that's pink with a couple purple shades in it. And I said, heard. So if you're a purple person, just know that the other purple people will judge you if you buy the Roxa palette and try to say it's purple. That's what they say. I'm really disillusioned with Natasha Denona as a brand and what they're doing and all of their monochrome palettes. So this is really easy for me to say, but like, ew. Natasha Denona's brand is cringe right now. And maybe don't be cringy and buy a Natasha Denona palette. If you are interested in purple and you need to buy a purple palette, there are very many indie brands that have purple palettes that are a more interesting take than what Natasha Denona did. And that's not to say that I don't think that that brand is capable of making a good color story, because I love a couple of the color stories they released. This doesn't seem to be one of the good ones. And if you happen to collect all of the Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes, may I suggest trying to break that habit? Because I think a lot of people try to flesh out their collections during the sale if they collect all of one thing. Maybe it's a mothership collection from Pat McGrath, Charlotte Tilbury holiday palettes, even though those changed, now they're 9 pans, and I'm considering buying one of those during the sale. Breaking the cycle, not buying one of those palettes will help you to just not continue to buy them. So think about it. Natasha Denona releases this palette. Are you actually that interested in it? Think about it. You may be. You also may not be. And you may be just buying it because it's like, well, I have all the other ones in it. The system. The Natasha Denona system. I can read the system. Those are all just magnetic eyeshadows. You can take them out and put them in any other magnetic eyeshadow palette. You don't have to take them out of one Natasha Denona palette and put them inside of another Natasha Denona palette. You don't have to do that. You don't need to have all of them. Consider that. And then also just maybe don't buy purple eyeshadow. I'm just kidding. If you love purple eyeshadow, feel free. Anyway, that's gonna, woo, there's streamers. Woo, la, 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 la. If you happen to be new to my channel and you made it all the way through this video and you find me compelling, I would love to have you subscribe. As I said at the top of the video, what I try to do on my channel is to try to help myself and help you be more discerning about the makeup that we are buying. I do reviews and I do get PR, and that changes my relationship with makeup, but I always try to be as honest as I can when I am reviewing PR makeup and whenever I buy something to review. But again, my relationship with makeup is going to look probably a little different than yours. I try to acknowledge that and remember that as I navigate the space. And remember, we're all free to navigate the beauty space however we see fit. Even if you are a makeup collector and you have the money to buy everything, my channel is still a safe space for you. I just am trying to help people who don't have those kinds of means remember that they are a part of this, even if they can't buy all of the things. So I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just trying to create a space for those of us who need this kind of space. You can check those linked down below in my description box. I do an additional piece of content over there once a month. Everyone who donates any amount of money, all get the same thing. It's just a different way to support me, not a better way to support me. Liking, commenting, and sharing my content or anyone else's content is the best way to support me or any other content creator you love. But thank you to all my current members and patrons. You are the absolute best. I really appreciate you. In my pinned comment, I have a link to help families in Gaza, and I have links to help people who were recently affected by the hurricanes in the United States. If you have the means to help them, maybe over shopping the Sephora sale if you have some additional cash, or over supporting me on Patreon or channel memberships. I would prefer you do that before doing any of the other things I've mentioned in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in a video very soon. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth, tits out.